All right. Obviously, a beautiful day out here. Great to see the fans. They continue to come out in droves, which is outstanding for us. Today we had a couple injuries. We don't know how severe. We don't think it's too serious with Quanjo's with a knee, and then Jarius Wynn with a knee also. But it's at this point you want to be obviously. Side on the cautious side and make sure that everybody's healthy and things like that. So that's kind of where we're at there. Boobie Dixon, this happened before. I guess this is my first press conference since then. But Boobie has a calf where he pulled a calf, and sometimes those things can last a while. They're as we were talking, Scott and I said, for us, we'd be out 2 years. But for him, it is. So that could be a severe thing. Sometimes a guy can be out 3-4 weeks at least even. So it seemed like it was pretty substantial. So I'm not sure we're going to get, Boobie at least for the next couple of weeks. I thought practice today, overall, we're doing some things, specific things, working a lot of zone reads against the defense. So we kind of split a period there, running some offensive things against certain looks, and then we call it dealer's choice. And we had David Lee running the offense for us, running primarily zone read plays against the defense. And because I think now as teams are running that, it becomes whether you see it 1 snap, 2 snaps, 20 snaps, you have to be prepared for it on defense. So obviously that's something that we're looking at doing. And we'll flip sometimes. We'll have EJ running it because we'll run certainly some zone read with EJ at quarterback. We'll do the same thing with Tyrod. So we'll split those guys back and forth. So they're actually servicing the defense, but we're also running some of our plays against it. And then the same thing on defense. We send 3 coaches down there to help, give certain looks that maybe we're not doing, we're not presenting to our offense, and so that's kind of what we're doing in that period, the way we split things up. Another big thing, I believe I've been challenged to eat like a dog biscuit or something like that. The SPCA is who we're trying to get awareness for and things like that. And with the name Rex, obviously I've eaten a lot of dog biscuits in my day, so this is no problem. I accept the challenge. I will do it tomorrow. And the person that I'm going to challenge is going to be big. I'm not going to tell you who that is until tomorrow. So it's just hang on. I want to make sure you guys are here for the press conference tomorrow. But I thought it was kind of funny when I got challenged by this person, and I'm like, all right, let's do it. It's on. Going to be one of them small biscuits, so I had the lap band. Can't be the big ones or large ones. And jump out of a plane at the same time. All right, but with that, I'll open up for questions.
Have you mapped out how you're going to operate this series, or have you thought of how that's going to work yet?
Yeah, we have we literally, have a formula in place and things like that. But I believe with our situation at certain positions, we're going to have to tweak it a little bit. But it's going to be, guys are going to get plenty of action, plenty of reps and all that. So it's kind of a dress rehearsal for preseason games, but it's more than that, I think. I think it's an opportunity to go against our guys, to really get after it and things like that. And, see if we don't pick it up a level. So Saturday's going to be that's when it is, right, Scott?
Yes.
Saturday's going to be a big day. It really is.
Rex, do you think controlled scrimmages would even be more helpful than preseason games? Let's say they did more of those and took away preseason games because you can actually dictate what you want to see?
I'm not going to say that because it'll be like Ryan criticizes Goodell, and that's usually not good for my pocketbook. So I'm not going to say that at all. No, but it's, I think it is. It's a controlled scrimmage where the quarterback's not live, but everybody else is. So you're balancing that, that as well. But eventually you got to snap the ball and you got to be able to tackle people, and so that's what we'll definitely do.
Seems like it's Sean McCoy had same question as you. Sean McCoy hasn't taken team drills the last 2 practices. What's the reason why that?
He just had a little toe. It's not turf toe or anything like that, but that's kind of a you know, a soreness, swelling type thing. But you know, he's going to be. It's not something that's going to really hamper him in the near future. But yeah, it'll be good to get him some more team reps.
Do you think he'll be ready to go by the time the scrimmage comes around?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I think he will be. But you know, obviously that can change. But you know, main thing's not that he plays the scrimmage. Main thing, he's ready to roll when you know, when there's live bullets. But it would be good to get him in there for sure.
Where are you always had a fumbling problem. You referenced that early on. Now with Booby down, he gets more opportunity. Where do you stand with him?
Yeah, and he hasn't laid any on the carpet yet. So I mean, he's been doing a nice job. I think Anthony Lynn's as good a coach as there is at teaching ball security. I think that's going to help Bryce. But I see him. He came back in great shape. You know, so he's certainly got an opportunity here, and it's good to see. You know, I see him. He's you know, looks like he's got that explosive speed still, and ball security has not been an issue. Well, it certainly helps your cause. I think if you can, the more you can do to, you know, contribute for this football team, whether it's on special teams or whatever, obviously that gives players a leg up, because special teams very big part of the evaluation stage. You know, how, you know, putting your best team together, because they can say it's a third of the game. It's not quite a third of the game, but it's certainly important.
But he's really not part of it. He's not really on the team much.
Well, he hasn't been in the past. We'll see, you know, what the future holds for him. But and again, I'm not saying that's the only way you get on a team. Certainly, we have some guys that are, you know, the majority of the reason why they're on this team is because they're top-notch special teams players. But you know, it's something that you look for sure.
Coach, you mentioned a couple times about Mario Butler and how he's kind of flashed at you. Can you be a little more specific what you see, and in particular how his size may distinguish him from some of the other corners?
Well, he does have great size. The thing that I see is, you know, playmaking skills, especially when we were in the mini camps. It seemed like he'd get an interception a practice. So he did a tremendous job there, and you still see it out here. So that's good. Special teams may be important to him as well. He hasn't been a big contributor on special teams, you know, either. But he's a guy that is smart. He plays to his strengths. He recognizes some weaknesses or whatever, or some limitations, but he plays to his strengths. And I think that's, especially on the corner, you got to play with confidence. You got to know who you are, and he gets it. He does a nice job. He knows our system. Very few mental mistakes, so it gives him an opportunity.
With all the backs that you have in camp, all the running backs you do have in camp, how big of a setback is this for Booby, knowing that he could miss 2-3 preseason games just scrimmaging your workouts with the Browns?
Yeah, it's big. I mean, we obviously wish we had him. He's a guy that loves to practice. You know, clearly loves to play as well. There's a huge contributor on special teams for us, as well as being a running back. So it's a big loss for us if he loses any significant time.
It seems like there's been another coach out there with you that he kind of has his eyes on the quarterbacks. Is that a consultant or coach? Another older gentleman?
No, he's just out there. He's a friend of mine or whatever, but he's, you know, he's just coming out here and trying to, you know, he's a quarterback guy, but he's not officially employed by the Bills. I'd rather not say. Joe Dickinson is his name, yeah.
Rex, what are your thoughts on John Miller for 45 days of camp, specifically in regards to his technique?
Well, first off, I think John has been everything that's advertised. You know, we brought him in here anticipating the fact that he probably would jump right in it, and he has. So from really day one, day two, whatever, he's been, you know, running as with the first group at right guard, and he continues to do that. His technique's outstanding. Talked to Cromer today, and Aaron goes, well, you know, the young man made a mistake today. He did make one mistake today. And he said, but he gave me the greatest reason, you know, so he goes, this is what I saw. Here's why. I know I made a mistake, but here's why I thought I was doing this and this. He goes, wow, that's impressive. But he really is. He's been tremendous. He's been on top of his assignments from a technique standpoint. Stays square in the pass. You know, when he's in pass protection, he's a good athlete. You know, he's not the prettiest guy because he's kind of short and squatty and all that stuff. Looks like an old Steeler guard, but he's very effective. And you know, we knew what we were getting when we drafted him. We did a lot of great work. Our scouts, you know, Doug Whaley and company, they did a tremendous job of locating him, bringing him in here. We were blown away by his knowledge, and so we've been pleased with him from day one.
What do you see from Cyril? He got some reps in for Richie today.
Yeah, he's been getting reps in at you know, left guard and right guard, and he's making a step. I see him taking a step forward as well. So you know, again, competition's great and things, but been really happy with him.
Rex, what have you seen from Charles play and what he can add to this offense?
I think Charles is, you know, we know he's a multi-talented type guy. He can block. He gives you a vertical threat as a receiver, but also the underneath. He's smart, and you know, so I've seen a lot of that. I don't think we've seen everything that he's getting ready to do for us to this point. We've been seeing more Sammy Watkins featured and things like that, but that's kind of where we're at now. But I think, you know, he's been really pleased with him. I don't know if he's gotten made the monster plays that we're anticipating him making in the regular season yet.
Rex, when you took the job, there was no guarantee that Jerry Hughes would be back. How happy are you that he is, and you know, just the job that he's done through the spring and now in camp?
No, they told me before I took the job that he'd be back. No, I'm just kidding. No, that was great, and you're right. Sometimes when guys go into the free agency, you are nervous about it and things. But with Jerry, he wanted to be a Bill. This is a home for him, and him coupled with his line mates, those three guys, it's a special group. There's no hiding that fact. But yeah, it's comforting having him here. There's no doubt about that.
Rex, we saw you talking to Jim Kelly at the end of practice. How much value do you place in having guys like him and Andre here at camp with so many guys trying to get better?
I think it's great. I mean, you're talking about Hall of Fame players that are in the community and all that. Thurman Thomas we had out here the other day. So yeah, it's great to see him. You kind of wish we'd, you know, roll back the clock a little bit, let him get back in there. Don't know if we'd have a quarterback controversy if Jim was in his prime. Don't think we'd have that. No disrespect to the guys we got. He was pretty good. But no, it's great having him around. And all the guys, of course, know and appreciate Jim and everything that he does for this community and this organization. I mean, he's still anytime you see a legend like that, and, you know, guys see that, and it's, you know, I think it's great for your team.
Rex, this morning, Doug Whaley commented that E.J. Manuel was a tad behind. Agree?
Well, I think sometimes, you know, and again, it's different stages and things like that. But I've been happy with EJ as far as his knowledge and things. You know, I think he's picking up the system really well now. I think his reads have been a little sharper. I'd still like to see more consistency with his accuracy, and so you know, I think that's probably what Doug's referring to.
He's fumbled a lot of snaps. Did you see that on film, and do you know what that means? It's something that we did not see before with him.
No, I think sometimes, depending on, you know, who's under there or whatever, whether that's his fault for dropping, you know, too early or the center's fault. We had some issues early, but you know, I don't think that's going to be a problem.
A couple more guys is becoming more consistently accurate.
I think it is. I think it comes down to it sometimes means that you're probably thinking a little too much or overanalyzing a little too much, because he can make all the throws. Like today, now it just happened. He's going to hit Sammy. Sammy runs a great route. He's all set to hit him, and the guy's in his face where he can't step into the throw, so it's not quite as accurate. But overall, I think, you know, let's let this thing play out, you know, and you know, we'll see how he measures up at the end.
How do you see him in pads? I mean, what are your first impressions of Cardinals?
I don't think we're seeing all the of him yet, because I think he's going to be a big contributor on special teams for us. And I think we kind of brought him in to be a running back / special teams guy. He was probably the ACC's best special teams player, captain of the Florida State special teams twice. Another reason we brought in Tony Stewart was because he was captain of Clemson's team for the last 2 years. So both these guys, I think, are going to make, we expect them to make huge contributions on the special teams as well as offense and defense.
Right. Last one, John. Greg Roman is on offense. How much could you open up the playbook in that?
Well, Greg's playbook's open anyway. It's going to be open regardless of who's at quarterback. In my opinion, I think Greg's we'll have probably the biggest playbook in the history of man in our running game. Why? Because it's important to us. We want to be multiple in the running game, and that's what Greg does. He's as multiple as like some people are in the passing game. We could be that way in the running game as well, and that's why mentally, it's not just how the guy's throwing in one-on-ones or 7-on-7 or whatever. It's the mental thing that we want to do with our quarterback that we need from us. We want to get ourselves in good plays. And we know, in my opinion, I got as good as it gets at offensive coordinator Greg Roman. So, having the legs, the factor in with Tyrod Taylor, I get it. I know exactly what you mean, because now you open it up to zone reads, you do all that type of stuff with a quarterback that could be extremely dangerous. Probably more so than Matt Castle at that stuff. But that's really why we're looking at EJ. I think EJ has some athleticism as well. Maybe, not saying he has the same athleticism, obviously, of Tyrod, but he can move a little bit, and that's why we're working that drill with him as well.